All Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, the leader of a unique hockey experience. It's the essence of no half-stepping. It is the Renegades of Puck. As you know by now, we have been nominated for Podcast of the Year in Nashville in the sports category. So we would appreciate if you would go to the ballot that you see right here. The SoBrosNetwork.com is where you can find that ballot, and you can vote for the Renegades of Puck for Best Podcast of the Year. After just under 2 months on the job, we sure are so proud of what we've already achieved and accomplished, and we look forward to being a part of this for many years to come. So again, stick taps to the SoBros Network for giving us the nomination in the 2021 Spirit of Nashville Awards. We hope to win. We intend to win. We'll display the trophy right here in the bunker once we do it. We'll make one hell of a acceptance speech for that award as well. So make sure you're checking that out. SoBrosNetwork.com is how you can vote. Also, RenegadesOfPuck.com is how you can find everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck. All of the information, all of the ways you can follow along with the Renegades of Puck. And you can also find links to our merchandise page. Thank you guys so much for participating in our sale over the weekend. 25% off all of our merchandise. That was outstanding to see how many of you jumped right in the trenches and got yourself some fresh gear. Our classic logo t-shirt right there. Also, our brand new Pride logo series of Renegades of Puck merch. Also, plenty of gifts. You can get anything up even to the last minute. Remember, Renegades, we've sold out so you can buy in. So get yourself some Renegades of Puck merchandise today. Social media, critically important that you give us a like, a follow on whatever it is your preferred platform is. We are available literally everywhere now. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That's how you can watch Renegades of Puck TV. Also, you can give us a follow on Facebook and on Twitter, and you can catch the live stream of the show on Twitch. We would appreciate every one of you. Just recently, we have added an Instagram page to the Renegades of Puck arsenal, and we also have an audio-only version of the podcast, Renegades of Puck Radio, that can be found on SoundCloud. We've started putting those links out as well. So there are many different ways and many different formats for you to consume the Renegades of Puck, and we appreciate each and every one of you for making the effort to do so. However you prefer your entertainment, we are available on that platform. Become a partner of the Renegades of Puck. You have helped us now get a second microphone. That's right. The mic I'm talking into now has a twin companion here in the bunker. We will be constructing a second microphone position right next to us very soon, and we will start having guests in the bunker and in the trenches right here on Renegades of Puck TV. That was made possible by viewers like you. So scan the QR code right there on your screen or go to Venmo and just search renegadesofpuck.com. Any donation is going right back into what we're doing here at the bunker and in the trenches, and we are going to continue building things out until we get it exactly where we need it to be. I have a vision for Renegades of Puck TV and for the Renegades of Puck, and I need your support and I need your help and your partnership to be able to get us there. So many of you have already jumped in the trenches and helped us out. A little bit of support. Appreciate each and every one of those donations, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So again, you can support us by giving us a donation or across any of those social media platforms, or just by enjoying Renegades of Puck TV. Got a lot of great sponsors and partners I can't wait to tell you about throughout the show. But for right now, you come for the no half-step in hockey coverage. So let's get to it right away. Your Nashville Predators currently sit third in the Central Division after 25 games played. They have a record of 14-10-1. They have 29 points. That puts them 8 points behind first place Minnesota. 1 point behind the second place St. Louis Blues. And in what is a bit of a jumble in the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche are 1 point behind the Preds, but so are the Dallas Stars and also the Winnipeg Jets. The only clear-cut thing about the Central Division right now seems to be who's in first in Minnesota at 37 points and who is in last in Arizona at just 12 points on the season. The Chicago Blackhawks just above the Arizona Coyotes, just to make sure I mention every single team in the Central Division. The Nashville Predators find themselves in third place on a long road trip where they have a record of 6-5-1. The Preds have scored 73 goals on the season and given up 70 goals against. After the Nashville Predators deal with their next opponent, the New York Islanders, they will be in New Jersey to face off with the Devils. That will take place the following night on Friday. So the Nashville Predators getting set for back-to-back in the Northeast. And while they seem very close together, depending on how you travel, they could be very far apart. After wrapping up in New Jersey, the Nashville Predators will go to Madison Square Garden and take on the New York Rangers on Sunday before coming back home to face off against a Western Conference opponent. What a novel concept. Tuesday, that'll be the Calgary Flames. Then on the 16th, the Colorado Avalanche. Then following that, up the 17th, the Nashville Predators will be in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. So only 2 quick home games before heading back out on the road to face off against Chicago. Now, the Nashville Predators have already played the Islanders once this season, so this will close out the season series between these two teams. You remember the Islanders were on that long odyssey to start the season while awaiting to open up their home rink. Well, they had to stop in Nashville during that long road trip, and that happened on October the 30th. It was the Preds with a 3-2 win in the shootout. Tanner Jeannot getting both of the goals in regulation. UC Saros going 34 out of 36, and the captain Roman Josi with the winner in the shootout over the New York Islanders. Now, there are some issues for the Nashville Predators right now. As we found out just before the Red Wings game, Saros, Ekholm, Benning all listed as day-to-day non-COVID related illness. Scary moment, scary situation to find out so many of the defense corps and your starting goaltender all out of the lineup last night in Detroit. We will talk about how the Nashville Predators handled that in great detail with the Rebirth Sports recap coming up here in just a couple of minutes. For the Nashville Predators, a bunch of other numbers to give you. In the rankings for the Preds, they are 18th in the league in goals for, 2.88. Goals against 2.80 is 14th. Very narrow margin of error for the Nashville Predators between victory and defeat, and that is exactly why we have seen them trading wins and losses so much over the last month of hockey. In shots for, the Preds are 19th in the NHL at 30.1. In shots against, they are 6th best in the NHL at 29.9. The power play for the Nashville Predators is 10th best in the NHL. I say 10th best, but it actually comes with a little bit of a cautionary tale because the Preds have been slipping in these rankings for quite a while now. They were all the way up at second at one point, now sliding, only scoring 17 times out of 72 opportunities on the season. And the penalty kill, unfortunately, is also trending in a poor direction. 24th in the NHL, 77.5%. They have given up 18 power play goals against. Now, taking a look at the Nashville Predators' next opponent, the New York Islanders, it has been an absolute horror show since the Islanders lost at Bridgestone Arena. Overall, on the season, they are 6-10-5. They only have 17 points, and they are 8th in the Metro Division, which is dead last. But it actually gets worse from there. We talked about that lengthy road trip and odyssey, and the Islanders getting ready to open up their brand new home rink. You think they're going to get a spark when they finally get back home? Well, since opening that rink, 0-4-2 at the brand new home arena. They've only scored 43 goals on the season and have a goal differential of minus 21. Now, for the Nashville Predators, they are not going to be continuing the Islanders' losing streak because the Islanders in their last game were able to break their 11-game losing streak. Let's just recap the last 5 because no reason to go through all 11 of those losses. It was the 26th of November when the Islanders lost 1-0 versus the Penguins. Then it was on the 2nd of December, a 2-1 overtime loss versus the San Jose Sharks. On the 4th of December, a 4-3 overtime loss at Detroit. On the 5th of December, a 3-2 shootout loss versus Chicago. And then most recently, a 5-3 win at Ottawa, again, breaking their 11-game losing streak. Now, the Islanders have some impressive individual players, but as a team, they are failing at virtually every metric. Goals for 2.05 is 31st in the NHL out of 32 teams. Goals against 2.95 is 18th. Shots for is 30th in the league at 28.3. Their shots against 32.3 is 22nd in the league. Their power play, 29th, 8 out of 58. Their penalty kill is 12th. They've only given up 11 power play goals against on the season, and it continues on. I mentioned they do have some impressive individual skilled players, but so far this season, they are not delivering the goods. These statistics are honestly dreadful at this point in the year. Barzal, 5 goals and 9 assists for 14 points. Nelson, 9 goals and 2 assists for 11 points. Wallstrom at 8 and 1 for 9. Bailey at 1 and 7 for 8. And it just continues getting worse from there. Now, Ilya Sorokin is having a fairly decent season numbers-wise when you consider how bad the Islanders have been. He's 6-6-4 on the season, and we saw him in Nashville put up a decent performance against the Nashville Predators. As a matter of fact, held the Islanders in that game for quite a while, a .924 save percentage and a 2.53 goals against average. Their other option in net is Semyon Varlamov, a goaltender we're all very familiar with. 0-4-1 on the season, a .888 save percentage, and a 3.17 goals against average. Now, taking a look inside the Nashville Predators statistics, Mikael Granlund, 5-21 for 26. Duchesne, 13-12 for 25. Yossi, 8-16 for 24. And Ryan Johansson, quietly, 7+15 for 22 points. So the Nashville Predators, multiple scorers all the way down through about number 9 would be leading the New York Islanders in scoring. So it has not been a very good month plus for the New York Islanders. UC Saros, hopefully back in net, listed as day-to-day right now with an illness. 11-8-1 on the season, a .921 save percentage, a 2.37 goals against average. And while Riddick's numbers do not look the most impressive when you just say a 3.13 goals against and a .885 save percentage, he does have a record of 2-1 on the season so far as a Nashville Predator, and in his career as a Nashville Predator. He'll clearly be getting another opportunity to get a start depending on the health of UC Saros coming up here in the back-to-back. Riddick will more than likely get a start no matter what the health condition of UC Saros is, so we'll have to see how that plays out over the next couple of days. So for the Nashville Predators, it's simple. You have to win this game against the New York Islanders. You cannot give them their first ever victory in their brand new home rink. You need to go in there and handle your business. You've got some winnable games on this trip. Detroit, that was a tough game. We're going to recap that one here in just a couple of seconds. That was a tough rink to go into. A team 9-2-2 on home ice. That was a difficult building to go into. The Islanders have never won a game in this rink, and the Nashville Predators need to make sure it continues that way. The New Jersey Devils are not a very good team. The Preds have a victory against them already this season. And the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. That is a difficult matchup for the Nashville Predators. The Rangers are a surprising team over in the Eastern Conference so far this season. That has you all set up for the Nashville Predators' second game of the season against the New York Islanders, closing out the regular season series against their former and first head coach in Barry Trotz. Now it's time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can find them on Facebook and on Twitter at Rebirth Sports. You could also go to rebirthsports.com and check out all their amazing work. Not only the jersey that you see right here, but all of the jerseys you've seen me over the many years I've played hockey for the Mighty Drunks and also in local tournaments all across Middle Tennessee and the hockey landscape of the world. You will find some of the best jerseys are made by Rebirth. There's been a lot of talk out there lately about disappointing jersey reveals. Well, I got to tell you one company that never disappoints. Whenever you get to open a box from Rebirth Sports, it delivers the goods 100% of the time. I know it because I've had the opportunity to do it so many times. I believe in this company, a small business, a great partner, and great people. Rebirth Sports, they're hockey tailors, and they can make your operation look just as good as the Renegades of Puck. And I cannot wait to show the world what Rebirth Sports has coming very soon for the Renegades of Puck. So remember, rebirthsports.com. Now, let's get into that full game recap. It was December the 7th of the year, 2021. The Nashville Predators were in Detroit to face off against the Red Wings. John Hines' line deployments to start the game are as follows. Tolvanen, Johansson, and Cunnin, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchesne, Trennan, Sissons, and Jeannot, better known as the Herd line, Cousins, Novak, and Tomasino, Yossi and Fabro, Borowiecki and Carrier, Myers, and Harper, and Riddick gets the start in net. This is a very different looking lineup very suddenly. Well, it turns out the Nashville Predators had some game day illness, non-COVID related, but a couple of their usual starters, including starting goaltender UC Saros, Matthias Ekholm, all out of the lineup due to illness. So the Nashville Predators have an opportunity to get some guys some minutes and also have an opportunity for some guys to step up in Detroit against a team that has been playing very good hockey as of late, especially at Bridgestone Arena. And here's how it would work out. At 1:17 of the first period, Matt Duchesne is off to the box, 2 minutes for slashing. The PK by the Nashville Predators overall was very good, strong enough. They didn't allow a goal. 6:37 of the first period, Cousins gets a shot from out high. It's the first of the game for the Nashville Predators. It took them 6 minutes and 37 seconds to engage in the game for the first time, so a sleepy start by the Preds. But at 9:35, Jeannot's got a scoring chance from his knees that has to be stopped by Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic, plenty of experience against this Nashville Predators lineup from his time with the Carolina Hurricanes. 10:53, Tolvanen hits the post. He is starting to heat up. 12:08, Nemestikov is off to the box, 2 minutes for delay of game, and the Nashville Predators are converting on the power play, and it's Ryan Johansson with his 7th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings. Matt Duchene with the absolute perfect cross-slot pass to set up Johansson for the easy finish. Ryan Johansson, 7 goals on the season. That number should definitely be appreciated, as he has struggled to put pucks in the net in recent years, or has more, I should say, opted to pass rather than shoot. This year, doing a good bit of both. At 17:43 of the first period, the captain of the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi's got his 8th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 2-0 lead. He walked through 4 Red Wings and beat Nedeljkovic. This was a highly impressive move by a Norris Trophy winning defender who can carry the puck in transition as good as anybody in the league right now. And he also took advantage of walking through 4 sloppily defended Detroit Red Wings players and converts for the Nashville Predators. In 1926, Larkin tries to get the Wings back in it, but he hits the crossbar and no go right there. We hit the end of the first period, and the Nashville Predators are out shooting Detroit 10-3. That's right, only 3 shots on goal for the Detroit Red Wings in the first period. 1:41 of the second period. Forsberg's got a breakaway. It is stopped by Nedeljkovic. You expected Forsberg to be able to convert on this one. It's not like he's Philip Tomasino. At 5:55, Josi gets a shot with traffic, and that causes just a little bit of trouble for Nedeljkovic. 7:05 of the second period. Granlund's got a shot that is stopped by the glove with Nedeljkovic. At 7:28, Smith and Harper are scrumming it up, and they're going off to the box. 5 minutes each. It looked like somebody was going to go. Johansson was ready to go with Smith, but then Harper did what he should do. He stepped in and made sure one of his top-line players got to remain in the game and on the ice, while Ben Harper, who is largely a pylon, got to go and sit and observe for a few minutes. Good, quick bout. Good job by the Nashville Predators stepping in and standing up for their own. 9:39 of the second period. Carrier's off to the box. 2 minutes for roughing. Took a while before we even got a chance to see a replay of this video, but it didn't matter. By that point, Fabry had already scored his 2nd goal of the season, Detroit's 1st of the game. Nashville Predators have a 2-1 lead in Detroit. It was a shot off of those springy back walls in Detroit. Everybody knows about that play when you go to Detroit. Leads to an easy finish on the rebound off the back wall. 13:25. Sissons hits the post. 15:58. Riddick comes up with a glove save that helps the Nashville Predators maintain their lead. 16:38. Runoff's off to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Cutten's got a sweet jam attempt at the end of the power play. Look, the Preds had plenty of zone time, plenty of possession, but simply didn't get enough pucks through to the net until the very end of the power play. I made a joke about it, and it's happening. 1948, Tomasino's got a breakaway. It is stopped by Nedeljkovic. When Philip Tomasino finally calms down and is able to start converting on these breakaways, he is going to be a threat on offense every time he's out there on the ice. I very much look forward to that. I'm not criticizing him. It's just becoming quite a bit of a trend. It just seems like when he has the time, he overthinks it a little bit. When he's out there playing reactionary, instinctual hockey, he seems to always be doing the right things in the offensive zone. He'll get there. I have a great feeling. Just let him continue developing. We hit the end of the second period. The Nashville Predators are now out shooting Detroit 25-8, but they only have a 1-goal lead in the game. 2:33 of the third period. Cousins has his 3rd goal of the season for the Nashville Predators, and the Nashville Predators have their 3rd goal of the game, now have a 3-1 lead. A turnover forced by Roman Josi. The Detroit Red Wings cough it up around the half wall in their own zone. Cousins then finds himself alone at the top of the crease. Plenty of time to do whatever it is that he wants to do, and what he wants to do is score a goal. So he goes ahead and does that. The Nashville Predators have a 3-1 lead. 3:21 of the third period. Riddick comes up with a save on Gagne plus the rebound. This was, without a doubt, the best scoring opportunity the Detroit Red Wings had in quite some time in this game. 7:07 of the third period. Tolvanen's on the score sheet again. Now he's got his 3rd goal of the season. It was a perfect redirect off of Fabro's shot pass in the high slot. You just have to watch it frame by frame to admire every single bit of it. But Eeli Tolvanen is a scorer, an offensive threat, and it looks like he is coming out of the slump that he has been in for the entire season. look out the rest of the NHL. When Tolvanen gets hot, he's going to join the rest of the group at the top with as many goals as anyone else. I think it is just about to happen. Nashville Predators lead 4-1 in this game at 8:57. Detroit's back on the board. Rasmussen's got his second. Detroit's got their second 4-2 game. That was a perfect 3-on-2 rush conversion. They even did it during that silly broadcasters laying out gimmick on whatever it is that silly app is that I had to download and re-download and sign out of and re-download and then be bored to death by how many ways you could say Tolvanen, Tolvoinen. Sorry. I didn't enjoy your broadcast. That's all. It's 4-2 it's a 4-2 hockey game right now in favor of the Nashville Predators. 15:55. Janot and Renouf, 5 minutes each. Renouf the call up looking to make a name for himself. Kid, that ain't the way to go about it. You're lucky that ended as quickly as it did because Tanner Janot could have done some real serious damage. 16:31. We see the empty net scenario and we see Dante Fabro getting his first goal of the season into that empty net. It was his teammate Eeli Tolvanen who tracked the slow-moving puck towards the empty net, wheeled and made a stick check to help Dante Fabro score a goal. Tolvanen, who has been in a slump virtually all season, easily could have taken that extra tap, put that puck into the empty net, and claimed it selfishly for his own, and nobody would have questioned that. He's an offensive player. That's exactly what scoring wingers do, but he didn't do it. He turned around and made a stick check so that his own teammate could get his first goal of the season, and Fabro deserved to be rewarded. Hell of a hockey game by Dante Fabro. He hasn't had a whole lot of those, but they're starting to come a little more often. We'll have more conversation about that here in just a second. That makes it a 5-2 hockey game. We wrap things up with a final at that score, and the Preds outshoot Detroit 33-16. Good win on the road. For Detroit, they were a very good home team. They had a record of 9-2-2, and they were on a good long winning streak on home ice. The Nashville Predators went in there, got the lead, never relinquished, and did exactly what they had to do on a night where you didn't have Matthias Ekholm and you didn't have Matt Benning. That's 1/3 of your regular defense core, and you didn't have your starting goaltender in UC Saros. So great job by the Nashville Predators. And Philip Myers out there, he had a chance to play in this game. Harper had a chance to be in this game, and both of them represented themselves pretty well in the emergency situation for the Nashville Predators. Listen, we got a lot of things we need to talk to. The Renegades of Puck are all in the trenches with me here on Renegades of Puck TV. It was UC Saros out day-to-day, non-COVID related illness. That means Riddick comes in 14 out of 16 in this one. He did enough to get the victory on the road, and that's all you ask in a situation like this from your backup goaltender being thrown in at the very last minute. The starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck is MOSTRODAMUS. You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. He's always up for the interaction. You can always watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. I need to know everything that he thought about this game between the pipes and everything that's going to come up for the Nashville Predators in this upcoming back-to-back. Mosh, the show is yours.
Thank you very much, Charlie. The Nashville Predators put together one of their best performances of the season, a complete 60-minute game on the road in Detroit, and pull out a 5-2 victory against the Red Wings. Fantastic performance overall by the team. The game was hardly ever in doubt. Nedeljkovic did all he could to keep his team in it. This game was not close. It was 25-8 in shots on goal through 2 periods. He stopped a couple of breakaways on Forsberg and Tomasino in the second period to keep the game close, but eventually he was overcome by the Predators' attack. Nick Cousins' goal in the third somewhat put the game away, and Detroit tried to make a game of it after that, but not really much going on for Detroit. And again, this is a team that had won their last 5 in a row overall, 5 in a row at home, and 7 of 8 overall on home ice as well. So the Nashville Predators absolutely shut down this Detroit team that has been so good here as of late. David Riddick, the surprise start, of course, what happened with the illness with UC Saros and Matthias Ekholm. Only 14 out of 16. Didn't have to do very much on that night. He had the power play goal against. It kind of reminds you of the old Joe Louis arena with the bounce off the backboards. Have that puck come back out and create a little bit of a havoc on the power play for Detroit. But that one goal, and of course Detroit, on a rare occasion, actually beat the Preds on a rush to get their second goal of the night to make it somewhat interesting. But again, the Nashville Predators were just all over Detroit in this game. No doubt about it. They did one hell of a job against the team, like I said, who has been playing so well here lately. Next up for the Preds, 3 out of 4 games in the tri-state area, starting Thursday night at the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders, we go from one team with Detroit that had won 5 in a row at home. The Islanders are winless on home ice in their new barn. They have lost all 6 of their games on home ice. I guess a silver lining in the cloud is that they've gotten points in their last 2 games at home, but still have not come out with a victory. Not a whole lot of yes chance up in New York right now, at least on Long Island. They've been outscored 18-6 at home since they started playing in their new arena. So not a whole lot of joyous time for New York. Of course, this is the second meeting between these two teams this season. New York could not beat the Preds in Nashville. 3-2 win for the Predators in a shootout. Tanner Jeannot had a couple of goals in that one. UC Saros was 34 out of 36. Brilliant performance by him. Maybe the Islanders probably deserved a little bit better in that game, but the Predators came out with a victory there. And then Friday at New Jersey, and of course, second meeting between these two clubs as well. 4-2 was the final score in Nashville the first time around, and the Preds really dominated that game. It wasn't that close for Nashville Predators. Now, if UC Saros, of course, is healthy after taking the night off Tuesday with an illness, he'll, I think, gets to start Thursday with how well he played against the Islanders the first time around. And then you put David Riddick, who hasn't seen much action. Even when he's in there, it seems he doesn't get a whole lot of pucks his way, but he'll certainly start Friday. And then Sunday against the absolutely red-hot New York Rangers coming up. They are on a 7-game winning streak now after beating Chicago on Tuesday night as well. So tale of two cities, so to speak, in the tri-state area. New York Islanders, winless on home ice. New Jersey Devils, kind of teetering right now. They were in a decent position early on in the season. They have fallen down. And New York Rangers, one of the best teams in the league, very surprisingly so, even from this longtime New York Rangers fan. So Nashville Predators, 3 games in 4 nights, coming up in the tri-state area. Charlie, back to you.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV, and you can always find him in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. He's the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. He is, of course, MOSTRODAMUS. I mentioned it, Fabro. One hell of a hockey game for him, and they're starting to come more often than they did before. His development is finally taking off. A little bit slower than some had hoped, including myself, but it does appear he is progressing fairly quickly this season under head coach John Hines and under the assistant coaching staff. In this game, impressive. He was able to get a goal and 2 assists, also had 3 shots on net, 23-10 in total time on ice. Also, Eeli Tolvanen seems to be breaking out of his streak that he had going for a while there. He picks up another goal, also had a shot, and also had 3 hits in this game. So continues to play physical and only his 15-50 in time on ice. I want to hear more about Fabro and Tolvanen, and the man I want to hear it from is Sean C. Smith from ontheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF, or you can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV, or you can hear him on a myriad of podcasts across the landscape of coverage of Nashville Predators. He is outstanding, and I want to hear what he has to say about Dante Fabro and Eeli Tolvanen right here on Renegades of Puck TV. Sean, tell me what you think.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, Sean C. Smith. I'm here to talk to you tonight about 2 guys on the Predators that I think you'd really noticed when they played against the Detroit Red Wings, and that is Dante Fabro and Eeli Tolvanen. Regardless of how that name is pronounced, it's Eeli Tolvanen, and let's talk about him first. Eeli Tolvanen has been doing a lot of things right all season long. In fact, I referenced before about Jeff Middleton's incredible article about Eeli Tolvanen and how he's doing all the right things except for finishing a couple of shows ago. But I think what we've seen over the past few games is that Tolvanen's placement is starting to work out as guys are finding him, feeding him the puck, and he's getting deflections and being placed well in front of the net is turning into some goals for him finally. Now, that's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what we've been hoping for, and I think you're starting to see it. Now, as far as his magnificent shot, I think you're going to see that coming in soon too. But hey, for now, being positioned right, getting in front of the net, deflections, redirections, that's all great stuff. That's exactly what we want to see out of Eeli Tolvanen. But let's talk about Dante Fabro. I'm really excited about this because Dante Fabro is someone that I think has faced some pretty unfair criticism ever since he's joined this organization at the NHL level. And I'm going to say this. He had to do all of his learning in the NHL. He came straight from college. He didn't get a big chance to hang out down in Milwaukee and learn from Carl Taylor and gobble up the minutes down there and come in ready. He was doing everything on live TV in front of everybody in Nashville for the Predators, even in the playoffs, right after he got here from college. And I'm going to say this. I think he faced a lot of criticism last year and the year before because, well, he was new. And for whatever reason, a lot of the mistakes he made, they looked pretty glaring because they were happening under, national spotlight as opposed to happening in Milwaukee. But the reality is, we talked a few weeks ago, or maybe a few shows ago, about some numbers that showed Dante Fabro was one of the better puck-moving defensemen in the NHL. Now, I'm not saying he's number one or number two, but he was pretty far up there compared to the rest of the league. And while we're at it, there were some numbers that came out the other day about how Dante Fabro is placed really high amongst all Predators defenders in a lot of metrics. Now, I'm not a numbers guy. You may need Brian Bastin to explain that one to you, but it's not going to happen for me. All I know is that somebody said what I've seen all along, that Dante Fabro is getting a lot better at NHL hockey. And what did we see against the Red Wings? You saw Dante Fabro involved in 3 of those 5 goals. Let's talk about what happened. The biggest one I can say that I think is going to get a lot of attention, you barely notice Dante Fabro at all. It's because he feeds the puck to Roman Josi, who's zooming into the blue line to get into the zone against 4 guys on the Red Wings. Fabro feeds him the puck, perfectly timed. He doesn't have to slow down, doesn't skip a step, gets straight in the zone, takes on guys on a 1-on-4, and finds the net. That's 1 assist for Dante Fabro. The other is his slap shot that Eeli Tolvanen, of course, deflects into the net for another goal. And then, of course, what happens at the end of the game? Empty net. Dante Fabro's got the puck, shoots it down the ice. It looks like Tolvanen really helped make that happen because he chased all the way down the ice, battled with the defender, kept him from getting his stick anywhere near the puck. The puck goes in the net, and Fabro has his 3rd point on the night and his 1st goal on the night, which is an empty net goal. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. They all look the same on the stat sheet. They all look the same on the scoreboard, and they all look pretty. But what you're seeing is these 2 players, Dante Fabro and Eeli Tolvanen, evolving. You're seeing them kind of fill into their roles on this team and step into those roles and do it successfully. So that's all I have to say about this game. Big stuff from Fabro and Tolvanen. That's exactly what I want to see. And Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
You can read his work at alltheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF, and you can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is Sean C. Smith, and he does fantastic work. Sean, sure to appreciate you jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. Listen, we had a fabulous cross-promotion on Sunday night. We called it the Sunday night stretch with Strong Style Fit. She jumped in the trenches, and as a matter of fact, instead of me telling you about Strong Style Fit, why don't I turn the show over to Tracy and let her tell you about Strong Style Fitness and introduce herself to each and every one of you Renegades of Puck.
And speaking of hello, I also want to say hello to any new to me viewers that might be coming to me today via my connection with the Renegades of Puck, which is an amazing hockey podcast, vlog, I don't know what you call it, social media giant that is covering the Predators and all things hockey, and works right over here across the garage for me in an amazing set that they've built over here. So I know some of you might be joining me due to my connection with them, and so welcome. If you are on your first day of your fitness journey, this is a great place to start. And I'll cover this a little more later, but really, if you're looking to get fit, one of the first things you have to do, not just before your workout is stretch, but one of the first things you have to do to get ready to start getting into fitness is to get yourself mobile. So many of us who have been immobile and not been working out, not being into exercise, we get so stiff, we get so tight, we don't move right at all. And that's no knock on you, it's just reality. And so when you are that tight, that clenched up, and then you go to do something basic, I'm not going to say simple, but a basic exercise like a squat, if your hips are tight, if your glutes are tight, everything's going to feel just wrong, and it's just not going to move right. And it can be frustrating, and it can lead you to stop wanting to work out completely because you're like, this sucks, this hurts, I can't move, this doesn't feel right. You expect to be sore, but you don't expect all of those other things. And so this is a great way to start your fitness journey, is start stretching, start getting mobile, and then jump into those harder workouts.
Remember, StrongStyleFit.com, also Strong Style Fit, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We can't thank Tracy enough for jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck and helping us get moving, helping us stay healthy, and doing it completely for free. A totally donation-based service. Strong Style Fit is doing the no half-stepping work. We sure do appreciate that opportunity. Milo is already jumped in the trenches with Strong Style Fit. Sean C. Smith also doing some stretches, and a bunch of other Renegades have reached out as well. Cross-promotion is fabulous. Looking forward to doing more of that in the future, and such a great partner. Strong Style Fit helped us tremendously with the construction and of the set right here and of the bunker, and continues helping us out with the show. We love partnering with small businesses like Rebirth Sports, like Strong Style Fit, and of course like Stripe Digital Solutions, who I'm going to tell you about here in just a moment. Couple of other statistics and numbers I want to give you. Assists in this game were scored by Matt Duchesne, 2 from Ryan Johansson, 2 from Dante Fabro, 2 from the captain Roman Josi. Shots on goal. Philip Forsberg led the game with shots on goal. Unfortunately, couldn't convert on his breakaway. He had 5 shots on net. Blocked shots. Philip Myers with 4 blocked shots in this game. Hits. Ryan Johansson had 4, but Mark Borowiecki had 6, and they were impactful and impressive. You know, Mikhail Granlund led the forwards in time on ice, 20-54 in total, and Roman Josi, I noticed it through 2 periods. His ice time was creeping up quick with the number of defensemen that were out of the regular lineup. 25-47 in total in this game in Detroit last night for the captain of the Nashville Predators, which of course led all skaters on the team. For the Nashville Predators, they did exactly what they needed to do. They went into Detroit and they took down a red-hot team in their home rink. Now, they've got to go and take on a struggling club in their rink in New York against the Islanders before taking on a bad team and a surprisingly good team to wrap up this road trip. Now, listen, I've got to go to Bryan Bastin. I've given you the box score, but he's got the numbers that you need to know, and he runs the Renegade Analytics desk. So let me throw it over to Bryan right now. You can find his charts. You can find his work at ontheforecheck.com, and you can catch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is Bryan Bastin. He runs the Renegade Analytics desk, and Bryan, the show belongs to you.
To me, one of the most impressive things about Nashville's victory over the Detroit Red Wings on Tuesday night wasn't just the smothering defense that held the Red Wings to just 16 shots on goal all game long. In fact, the thing that really jumped out to me was what Nashville did when they had the puck and just how efficient their shot selection is, and that is the topic of today's One Big Stat. Now, those of you who are familiar with the program know that I've talked about shot quality quite a bit when it comes to shot selection for the Predators. For those of you who need a reminder, or those of you who are new to the program, shot quality is just a measure of the probability that the average shot will become a goal. According to evolvinghockey.com, the NHL average sits at about 5.7%, which is a level that Nashville tends to hover around this season, and something that they've improved on since John Hines has come on as Nashville's coach. Now, when Nashville finishes with a shot quality above that NHL average, they do sit at just a 6-5 record, which doesn't seem as much, as impressive, but it's something that is definitely going to help them if they want to win games. Another measure of shot selection is their on-target percentage, and this one's pretty simple. This is just looking at what proportion of all of their shot attempts became shots on goal. Now, they're going to want to stay above that 50% mark, and that 50% mark is actually a pretty good level for the Predators, because when they finish with an on-target percentage of above 50% or more, Nashville's record is 12-7-0, which is much more impressive. Combine those two things, and you can see that Nashville is going to be much more efficient with the puck, and they're taking shots that are closer to the net and are not getting blocked, which is something that is going to lead to testing the goaltender much more and eventually lead to more goals. In both of these regards, the Detroit and Montreal games were one of the best in the entire season for the Nashville Predators. However, one of the worst performances they had when it comes to on-target percentage was the first matchup against the New York Islanders back at the end of October. That was one of the worst that they'd had all season long. However, they still did get that win. Since the Islanders are coming off of some games that were postponed due to COVID, and they do only have 6 wins this season, Nashville should focus on getting better at the kind of shots they take and their shot selection. And if they do that, I think that they should be able to cruise to an easy victory against the Islanders tomorrow night. And that's today's One Big Stat.
You can check out his work at ontheforecheck.com, and you can also watch him right here at Renegades of Puck TV. And you can follow him on Twitter at Bryan Bastin. Bryan does an outstanding job crunching the numbers for me, doing all the math, and running the Renegade Analytics desk. And I'm so appreciative to have such great Renegades of Puck on the show with me each and every time. Kyle Perkins doing a great job out there, taking care of all of those memes as well. And the ultimate one, don't worry, he'll be back soon. He's been on IR for a little while. We might also be bringing in a little bit of support to help out with the Ultimate One and the Hype division. We'll have more on that coming soon. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you about one more great partner of the show, Stripe Digital Solutions. You've heard me talk about Stripe Digital Solutions so many times before. StripeDigitalSolutions.com is how you can find out more. Or you can also go to Facebook and Instagram and search Stripe Digital Solutions. Stripe Digital Solutions helped me create the logo that you see on the wall behind me, helped me create the logo that is on the jersey that you see right here. So Stripe Digital Solutions and Rebirth Sports teaming up together to make this jersey right here. And now Stripe Digital Solutions is helping me maintain the website renegadesofpuck.com, and is also helping me create a digital marketing plan that is going to help the Renegades of Puck reach new viewers on landscapes that we just simply cannot get to without the help. Nobody can fight the algorithm all alone. You need support. You need a tremendous partner like Stripe Digital Solutions. Please let Brandy know that you heard us talking about Stripe Digital Solutions right here on Renegades of Puck TV, and jump in the trenches with them. The partners I tell you about, the people that work with us here on Renegades of Puck TV and in the trenches, these are good people and they are great businesses. And I hope that you reach out to each and every one of them and let them know what you think of them. Listen, Renegades, I've got one more thing I want to tell you before we head out. I got the invite today from my old captain, Colby Collier. One night only, the Mighty Drunks, Bridgestone Arena, later this month. I'll have more details coming up on that soon. But I'll be taking center again. I'll be winning face-offs, and I'll be bringing the jam with my old team, the Mighty Drunks. It'll be my first time on the ice playing competitive hockey in quite some time. I look forward to joining all of my old teammates, all of my old friends. And since we're going to be playing for fun, I can't wait to see a few of you in the corners. We'll talk about that more as we get closer, but I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm so proud to get to skate on Bridgestone Arena ice again. We'll be talking a lot more about competitive hockey in the future. We've got some big plans. We've got some big ambitions, and we've got a lot of things to reveal to you, Renegades of Puck. Cannot wait. For MOSTRODAMUS, for Sean C. Smith, for Bryan Bastin, for Kyle Perkins, and the ultimate one, I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you jumping in the trenches, giving us a like, giving us a follow, passing along the links, and bringing the Renegades to us one by one. We can't do it alone, and I need each and every one of you. So, one renegade at a time. We bring them to the trenches, we recruit them, and we let them know that they are home. No renegade walks alone, and once you find your way to the trenches, I promise you'll never go back to those half-steppers that call themselves the mainstream media. Believe it. That's why we're here in the bunker. We own it, we control it, built by renegades for renegades. No half-stepping means we're here for the cause, and we will be here forever. Trust me, I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, respect.